wish to thank the Ford Motor Company of Canada Limited, sponsors of The Deputy, and Lever Brothers Limited, sponsors of the program Man from Black Hawk, for kindly relinquishing their program time tonight. The program Close-Up has also been canceled tonight. Stay tuned for the Talent Caravan program to be seen later tonight over these same stations. It's playoff time in Canada.
What a great, great feeling, what a wonderful sense of sheer enjoyment and of confidence. For there's something you're aware of, your conscience taken care of at the Esso sign of confidence at the happy motoring time.
Imperial Esso dealers and agents everywhere in Canada now take you to Maple Leaf Gardens for the fourth game in the Stanley Cup Finals.
In Toronto, 5-2. Now they're all set for the face-off, this fourth game, and here's Bill Hewitt.
Puck is shot right from the face-off into the Canadian zone. Harvey, number 2, back for it. Harvey standing behind the net. Trying to make a play. He does. Puck is brought out by Pronovo. Over on the left wing to Goyette. Edmondson stepped in front of him, but the puck came near the side of the Leaf net, and Bauer covers up at the side of the post. Face-off will be in the Maple Leaf zone to the right of Bauer. We've played 23 seconds of the first period, and there's no score. From the face-off, Bauer had to make a save. Kelly. A pass for Mahamlich, deflected out. Canadians forechecking. Clear the puck back into the Maple Leaf zone. Horton back for it. Horton to Kelly. Kelly coming out with Mahamlich, who failed to get loose. Canadians with Provo, checked by Stanley, and the puck went over the glass.
Montreal Canadiens are starting off just the same way as they did in the 2 games in Montreal, putting the pressure on the Leafs right from the beginning.
From the draw, Edmondson back to Stanley. Stanley to Horton. Horton at center, flicks it over the line. Harvey knocked down. Mahamlich tried to sift in. Goyette stopped by Edmondson. Edmondson, a pass for Kelly, stopped by Langlois. Mahamlich checked him. Mahamlich over to Stanley. Stanley skates behind his own net. Over to Horton. Off the boards to Edmondson. Edmondson shoots it in. Plot stopped it, left it behind the net. Kelly covers his check. Puck ends up against the boards. Mahamlich couldn't get it loose. He finally did, but there'll be a face-off, as it was called by referee Eddie Powers. And the face-off is to the left of Plot in the circle. And the Leafs have Pulford, Olmsted, and Stewart, Bond, and Brewer facing Beliveau, Bona, and Geoffrion, with Johnson playing on the defense along with Colbert. From the face-off, Bona watched by Pulford. Johnson in the corner. Cleared it along the board. Brewer keeps it in. A weak shot along the board. Homestead failed to get to it. Johnson, a cleared pass down the ice. It's sliding to the red line. It's over. 18 is Brewer back for it. And he touches it, and the Canadiens are called for icing as we approach the 2-minute mark in the first period. There's no score.
The Leafs appear to have steadied down after that minute and a half when they were under pressure, and then they're starting in as they did in the first game on Toronto ice. They're trying to hem the Canadiens in, but that's quite a trick.
Shot went wide of the Montreal net. Johnson, a cleared pass. It's Beliveau going down the left wing to center ice. He takes his shot. Bauer made the save. Geoffrion went into the net as Pulford races back on the left wing over the line, takes his shot. Hunt cleared it off to the side. Geoffrion is tangled up in the net. A shot goes wide. Play is called, and Geoffrion is lying in the net at the south end with Bauer trying to get him free. Bauer finally has him free.
Geoffrion went in for that rebound, which came off Bauer's pad. It came well out, But Jeffrion went in there a mile a minute into the corner, and his skate seemed to catch into the net, and he was anchored there for almost a minute before the play, well, at least 40 seconds before the play was stopped, because the Leafs had the puck at the time, and they didn't call the play, of course. And that apparently is all right.
From the face-off, Vaughn took a shot, knocked down by Johnson, ahead to Jeffrion. Jeffrion at center, Bonin on his left. Jeffrion shot. Bowers juggled it in his pad and holds it out.
Bauer was trying to prevent a rebound there as on that last one, and as a result, he seemed to be rather shaky as he stopped it, but he covered up so that the puck didn't drop.
Puck at center, shot off the boards into the Montreal zone. Langlois clearing pass to Moore. Moore, a long pass for Maurice Richard to Henri Richard. Henri Richard trying to cut in. Does behind the net, rolled it back to the blue line to Harvey. Harvey takes his shot right to Henri Richard, cleared it right in front of the net. Duff on the right wing, trying to get away. He's grabbed. There may be a penalty on the play. Armstrong rolling it over the line. And there's going to be a penalty to Moore.
There's the first penalty of the game, and Dickie Moore is going into the penalty box. He was rather incensed at the call by referee Eddie Powers, but he's off, and now the Montreal Canadiens will play 5 men to 6. They've played about 3 minutes and 28 seconds.
2 minutes for holding. Time 3:28.
3:28, a holding penalty to Moore of the Montreal Canadiens. Leafs bench there with the Leafs all ready to take, or try to take advantage of the extra man.
On the face-off, Regan slapped it wide of the Montreal goal. Johnson clearing it to the other wing. Kelly moves up into the corner, past Armstrong, and he slapped it wide. Puck ends up against the boards. Regan propping the Montreal player Provo, and there will be a face-off in the Montreal zone. To the right of Plot this time in the circle. Regan, Armstrong, Duff, Kelly, and Stanley all playing up. They have the odd man advantage. No score in the game. From the face-off, Johnson flicked it, but not out. Regan being pushed back to Stanley. Let it go through Duff into the corner. Plot came out of his net. Duff steals the puck. Passed it right in front. Back to Regan. Regan passed it back, and it went out over the blue line. Kelly, a pass for Stanley. Back to Regan offside. The pass was behind him, and he was offside. So the face-off is outside the Montreal blue line.
This power play by the Leafs seemed to be on the over-anxious style. As a result, Punch Imlich immediately makes a change. They seem to be a little frantic in their style, moving in.
From the face-off, Stanley passes over to Kelly. Kelly at the red line, up over the Montreal line, shot it in, went after it himself. Marshall skated him off. Mahamlet keeps the puck in for the Leafs. Back to Olmstead, over to Stanley. Stanley took his shot, knocked down by Harvey. Puck was cleared, but not out. Harvey and Olmstead work for it. Harvey clears it off the boards, and it gets away from Stanley and goes down the ice. Kelly, number 4, back for it. Kelly behind the net, over into the corner on the right wing in Leaf territory. Kelly leads the 4-man rush, gives it to Mahamlet. Mahamlet shot the puck in. Harvey ran into Stewart. Johnson off the boards to Provo. Stopped by Stanley. A shot deflected off to the side. And Marshall shoots the puck down the ice. Stanley back, number 26. Stanley. A pass to Stewart, over to Mahamlet at center. Mahamlet over the line, and he was checked by Harvey, who waits ahead to Marshall. Marshall is checked, and Stanley covers up. Ahead to Olmstead. Olmstead was checked. Olmstead is replaced by Duff. Provo back to Johnson. Ahead to Provo. He cleared it right to Kelly. Kelly to Duff. Duff back to Mahovlich, and it rolls right to Plot. He steered it off to the side, and Canadians shoot the puck out. Brewer coming back for the Leafs. Duff went in ahead of him. Brewer over to Regan, back to Armstrong, he shoots, and a great save by Plot with a skate. Brewer took a shot, it gets over to Regan. Regan takes his shot, that hit the Canadian player, and Marshall comes out to center ice. Takes a long shot. Bauer had to stop it. Duff. A cleared pass to Armstrong. He's checked by Moore. Moore a pass to Maurice Richard, number 9. He rolled it right in front of the net. And Vaughn tipped it back. Now then Regan. Pass to Armstrong. Armstrong and Moore bumped together. Vaughn has the puck in his skate. And play is called for a face-off in the Maple Leafs zone to the right of Bauer. We've played 6 minutes and 25 seconds of the first period. There's no score, a scoreless tie.
Quant, the 5-time Vezina Trophy winner, is right up to his peak form there as he stopped about 4 or 5 real direct shots on the net when the Leafs had the advantage with Dickie Moore in the penalty box with a holding penalty at 3:28. He's back on the ice now. He's standing over at the bench getting a new stick. Dickie Moore, 12 for the Canadiens.
Lining up for the face-off. Vaughn and Henri Richard mixing it up. Lining up for the face-off again. It's Maurice Richard trying to get a shot. It's back to Talbot. A drive. Bauer caught it. Brewer. A pass ahead to Duff. Duff ran into Henri Richard. Maurice Richard to Moore to Johnson. His shot was just wide. Regan coming up with a pass to Armstrong. They're over the line. Armstrong's shot. Tipping it off to the side. Regan and Armstrong try to get it loose. Johnson, number 10, covers up. Cleared pass to Maurice Richard, stopped by Regan, who ran into Maurice Richard, who gets up. Then Johnson rolls it in, and it's Brewer. A pass to Duff. Duff was checked, and Regan goes back at center. Took a bouncing shot. Armstrong went after the relay. Armstrong tried to center it, fought for it, and Henri Richard gets it. Henri with Maurice Richard over the line, and Brewer breaks it up. A pass to Duff, too far. Moore hands it to Brewer. Brewer goes over the line, fakes a shot, closes in, and his shot hit Johnson. Fulford tries to center. He does right in front of the net, and Moore drives it out and down to center. Brewer ahead to Olmstead. Olmstead to Fulford. Fulford failed to go through, and the puck is shot back. Brewer over to Vaughn. Vaughn shot the puck in. Cleared around on the boards to Geoffrion. Geoffrion to Beliveau. Beliveau comes over the line. Beliveau shoots. Bauer made the save. It's offside at the blue line, but Bauer made the save anyway.
Been some great goalkeeping in this first 8 minutes of play. That's Harvey coming from the bench there, having said something to Phil Blake. Leafs in the dark, Canadians in white.
Sunday face-off, Stanley behind the Maple Leaf net, trying to work his way out. A pass to Horton, stopped by the Langlois to Beliveau. Beliveau shoots. Oh, he scores!
Well, there's the first goal again for the Montreal Canadiens. Every game in the series, they've scored first. The Leafs seem to have the advantage territorially in this game again, but Montreal Canadiens popped that first all-important goal, and it was Beliveau that fired it, and it seemed to go in off another player. It was a jamming session around the Leaf goal.
Puck is cleared by Montreal, right back into the Maple Leaf zone. Cleared over on the wing. Stanley failed to get out. Bona gets a chance, and he spun around. Geoffrion took his shot. Bauer steered it into the corner. Geoffrion rolls it in front to Belleville. Back to Bona. Bona is knocked. Then Geoffrion gets in front. Back to Langlois. Over to Harvey. Harvey shoots. He scores! Montreal Canadiens just had irresistible power there, and Harvey let a long shot go, and now the Montreal Canadiens lead 2-0. They had the Leafs bottled right up so that they couldn't clear the puck out, and Canadiens have hit for 2 fast goals, which is getting to be a habit in this series. On the face-off, the puck was cleared by Kelly into the Canadian zone. It's out for Provo, number 14 of Montreal. A pass stopped by Brewer. Vaughn ran into Goyette, knocked him down. The puck is lodged in his skate, but he gets up and shoots it back into the Maple Leaf zone.
Canadian goal, scored by Belleville, assist to Langlois. The second Canadian goal, scored by Harvey, assist Geoffrion and Langlois. Time of the first goal, 8:16. Time of the second goal, 8:45.
Vaughn of the Leafs is getting a penalty, giving the Montreal Canadiens the odd man advantage, playing 6 men to 5. They lead in the hockey game by a score of 2-0.
Late penalty, Vaughn. 2 minutes for elbowing. Time 9:13.
Two scoring plays, Belleville from Geoffrion and Harvey from Geoffrion and Langlois, 8:16 and 8:45.
On the face-off, Geoffrion a shot. It's knocked out in front of drive. Bauer knocked it high in the air and finally came up with it with 2 Canadian players standing right beside him. Vaughn is in the penalty box for elbowing at 9:13. Montreal Canadiens with 2 fast goals, leading by a score of 2-0. Lining up for the face-off, Belleville with Henri Richard and Moore, Geoffrion and Johnson on the defense. Geoffrion goes up the ice with Belleville. They're over the line. A pass for Belleville right in on goal. And Bauer made the save from close range. The Canadiens trying to center it. Belleville back to the blue line. It goes down the ice. Kelly goes after it. He and Henri Richard get mixed up. There's going to be a penalty to the Leaf player, Kelly. Kelly is going to get the game. Now then, the Leafs are playing 2 men short with Vaughn and Kelly 4, in the penalty box, so that the Montreal Canadiens have a great opportunity here to wrap it up, having the Leafs play 4 men to 6.
2 minutes for holding. Time
9:53, the holding penalty to Kelly. Vaughn had previously gone off for elbowing at 9:13. On the draw, it's Geoffrion over the line. A drop pass to Moore. Moore pass to an open wing. Johnson slapping it into the corner. Belleville right in front of the net to Geoffrion. Geoffrion was too well covered. Marshall back to Geoffrion. Geoffrion passing to Moore. Moore waits. Set and Colford on the lead, rolls it up. It's the Canadiens with Moore leading the attack. He goes right in alone. Tried to go through the defense. Steered off to the side. Cleared back to the blue line and down the ice. Vaughn comes out of the net. It's the Canadiens coming back. It's a chance for Belleville, a shot. Bauer made the first save. And it's called. Fulford beat him to it and ran into Quant at the same time. So Fulford is going to get a penalty, and that means 3 Maple Leafs are off. Vaughn, Kelly, and Fulford. Fulford going to the penalty box now for charging, and the fans, complete sellout crowd in the gardens, of course, pelting the ice with programs and paper.
2 minutes for elbowing.
They called it elbowing. He ran right into Quant as they went racing after the puck. Quant came about 25 to 30 feet out of the net, and Fulford went racing up to try and beat him to it, but he appeared to be a little on the careless side in not sidestepping the goalkeeper, and he ran right into him. While there are 3 Leaf players in the penalty box, they only, of course, played 2 men short. Been 4 penalties in the game up to this point. Moore for Canadians getting the first one, then Vaughn, Kelly, and Fulford in that order. Montreal Canadiens hit the 2 very fast goals, one at 8:16. Beliveau's shot went in off the Leaf player. Geoffrion got the assist, and then Harvey, 29 seconds later, fired one at 8:45. Geoffrion and Langlois assisting. Montreal Canadiens will still have a 2-man advantage. There's the Leaf bench. And in the penalty box, there are 3 Maple Leaf players, and they're scraping up. Someone threw an egg on the ice. So that's what's holding up the game. Papers went on the ice first, and then this is the first egg that's come along. We understand that in the first goal, Langlois has also been given an assist. So he's had 2 assists on the 2 goals. Beliveau scoring the first, and Harvey the second one. That's Beliveau's 3rd goal of the series, and Harvey's 2nd. Now they're getting ready for the face-off, and the Leafs are 2 men short, and they have 3 men in the penalty box.
Beliveau with Moore and Marshall, Geoffrion and Harvey all playing up. Canadians leading 2-0. 3 Leaf players in the penalty box. Leafs playing 2 men short. Face-off will be in the circle to the left of Bauer. Canadians playing up. Beliveau gets the draw to Moore. Moore waits, takes his shot. Bauer made the save. Horton picks up the loose puck and rolls it out over the line. It's cleared back, and Beliveau, number 4, back 4. Canadians 2, Maple Leafs no score. Geoffrion up at center. Number 5, over the line. A drop pass for Moore. A pass right in front of Marshall. It's loose, and Bauer comes up with it.
The Leafs are holding on grimly, despite the fact they're 2 men short. Vaughn has about 2 seconds of his penalty left, but it will still mean the Leafs will be 2 men short.
Ready for the face-off in the Maple Leaf zone again. The puck was cleared off the glass. Harvey waits, a pass to Marshall, back to Beliveau, right in front of Moore. He shoots, and Bauer made the save. Regan passes back to Horton. Horton over to Stanley. Stanley rolls it out and down the ice. Harvey behind the net gets it out to Beliveau, stopped by Regan. Regan stick handling around at center ice. Still has it. Passes back to Horton. Horton is checked, gets possession. Passes it down the ice.
There's Vaughn out there now.
He goes over to the bench so he can take part in the next play. Mahovlich stepped on the ice. There's a shot. Knocked down. Mahovlich comes out. The Leafs have 2 men in the penalty box, but one of the penalties is up. Stewart gets over the line. Passes it in front for Mahovlich. And the Canadians break it up. It's Henri Richard up at center ice. A pass over the line. Canadians with Jeffrey on. Went in and it was offside.
Canadians are claiming the Leafs had too many men on the ice there. That's what the uproar was over at the Canadian bench. There's the Leaf bench. And the referee is asking the penalty timekeeper. Looks if the Leafs are going to be called for it. Colford is in the penalty box and has about 43 seconds of his penalty remaining. So apparently everything is in order now.
From the face-off, Provo bumped into Brewer. Bond trying to hook it loose. Goyen was bumped. Then Brewer ran into Provo. And they're holding it for another face-off in the Maple Leaf zone to the left. 31 seconds left in Fulford's penalty. Montreal leading the Toronto Maple Leafs 2-0 at the 12:37 mark of the first period. All set to go. Goyette and Brewer facing off. Now they're waving Brewer and Goyette out of the circle. Olmsted and Provo. Brewer is still going for a skate. From the face-off, Goyette trying to get in front. He was too well covered. Olmsted ahead to Kelly. Kelly up over the line, trying to cut in. Is knocked off stride, passed it back. Brewer keeps it in. Tried to pass it loose, and Goyette watched by Brewer. Goyette tries it again. A long pass for Jeffreyon, stopped by Olmsted, and the puck is shot into the Canadian zone. Harvey is back for it, and Fulford is getting set. He's on the ice, and the Leafs are back at full strength. Fulford keeps the puck in the Canadian zone, rolled it in front. Swan stopped it. Harvey went down. Olmsted to Kelly, and it just failed to click. Fulford trying to keep it in. Puck goes out. And Goyette gets it to Provo. Provo going over the line. He's knocked down. Bauer came out of his net and shot it down the ice. Talbot, number 17, goes back. Leafs making a complete change as Talbot comes up the ice. Shot the puck into the Maple Leaf zone. Bond to Armstrong. Armstrong off the boards to Regan. Regan back to Armstrong. Armstrong tried to pass for Duff, but it just failed to click. A pass over to Beliveau. Beliveau tips his shot wide. Regan gets away from Beliveau and Bonin. Regan up at center with Duff, who takes the pass. Duff going in, he shoots, and he's shot wide. Armstrong back to Bond. His shot goes to Duff behind the net, right in front of Regan. And Regan just missed it. The Canadians come back. Beliveau up over the Leaf line with Jeffreyon. A pass to Bonin right in front. And Brewer went to the corner to cover up. Armstrong ran into Jeffreyon. Armstrong of the Leafs gets a hold of it again. A pass to Regan. Armstrong is knocked down. Regan gets over the line. Waits. Passed it right in front. And Talbot clears it out to Bonin. Regan goes off. Jeffreyon goes down now for the Canadians, trying to cut in. Passed it right in front of the net. A shot right in front of the goal. Beliveau is watched by Bond. And on a swing at Beliveau.
That's Bond and Beliveau that started the fight there. Bond let a left go. Hard to tell whether it was short or not. Bellevau's very tall. He didn't seem to go back at Bond. Just kept his head, and now they're sorting things out. It's a fiery sort of a game. Armstrong was talking to Johnson, but they're all milling around. Stop number 9, Mahavlich 27. Apparently they didn't think there was enough damage down there to hand out a penalty to anyone. The referee is Eddie Powers. He's having a hard game to handle.
Lining up for the face-off. The puck was shot wide of the Leaf net. Horton and Moore bumped together. Kelly. A cleared pass to Edmondson. He rolled it. Kelly carries on. Going with Mahavlich, who cuts into the corner. Mahavlich tried to center it. Edmondson carried by the net. And Maurice Richard coming up on the left wing. A pass to Henry to Talbot. Talbot cuts through. Mahavlich came back to cover up. And Stanley gets it out over the line. Edmondson carried on. It's back for Moore. Moore over the line. Henry Richard is bumped. Moore shot wide. And was spun around. Edmondson passes the puck out over the line. Moore whacks it back to Henry Richard. He turns around. Gets over the line. Ran into Edmondson. Tried to pass it in front. It was deflected out. Canadians with Moore. And Henry Richard offside on the right wing. And the face-off will be outside the Maple Leaf blue line. And we've played 16 minutes and 2 seconds of the first period. Montreal leading 2-0.
Henry Richard has been trying to set up Maurice Richard, his brother, on 2 or 3 occasions, perhaps missing some good chances himself by trying to make that play. They're at the 16:02 mark in the first period, 2-0 for the Montreal Canadiens. Beliveau from Geoffrion and Langlois at 8:16, and Harvey from Geoffrion and Langlois at 8:45.
The puck is at center ice. Langlois hit Beliveau. Vaughn shooting the puck out to center ice. It's cleared over on the wing. Olmsted failed to reach it. Brewer turns. Brewer back to Vaughn. Vaughn's pass. Geoffrion tried to go through. Vaughn clears it out to Olmsted. Olmsted, a pass for Stewart on the right wing. Langlois whacks it back out to center. Vaughn to Olmsted. Back to Brewer. Brewer's pass failed to reach Fulford. Harvey left it for Langlois. Geoffrion now comes up to the Leaf defense. Geoffrion tried to go through. Bauer at the stop of a slow shot. Bauer comes up with it and holds onto it for a face-off in the Maple Leaf zone. Played 16 minutes and 53 seconds of the first period. Montreal Canadiens 2, Toronto Maple Leafs no score. On the face-off, Brewer. A pass for Olmsted. Olmsted with Brewer and Stewart. A pass off the board. Stewart went after it. It's Langlois pushed into the board. Brewer missed a check from Beliveau. The puck goes loose, and Beliveau will get a penalty.
That penalty will be for charging. And Beliveau is coming into the penalty box. That's the second Canadian penalty of the game. The Leafs have had 3 and Montreal 2. The Leafs had 3 in a row. And they put up quite a defensive show, playing 2 men short. The Montreal Canadiens were unable to break through. They did prior to that, though, in great style at 8:16 and 8:45, 29 seconds apart.
17:09.
the Leafs are literally baffled by the power of the Montreal Canadiens at the 8-minute mark.
On the face-off, Kelly is knocked down by Marshall. Gets it to Armstrong. Back to Regan. Regan's shot was deflected wide. Stanley went after the loose puck, and it was knocked down the ice by Provo. Regan now working his way out with a pass for Duff. Duff just failed to get by Johnson, and the Canadiens cleared down the ice again. Bauer leaves it for Kelly. Kelly, a pass to Duff. Duff over the line, closes in, passes it right in front. And it went to the corner. Marshall tried to get away from Duff. Johnson and Armstrong bumped together. The puck hit the referee, and it's cleared down the ice. Number 26 is Stanley going back for it. Now it's Stanley ahead to Regan. Regan going over the Canadian line. A pass for Eamon. Eamon to Mahamalik. Right in front of Eamon. Nice save by Plott on Eamon.
Eamon appeared to have Plott at his mercy on that pass from the corner, but Eamon shot right at the Canadian goalkeeper. He just seemed to be mesmerized by them on the move by Plott. Plott has that happy knack of just seeming to move in the right direction at the right time. But Eamon, who is out there for the first time, had a great chance in front of the net. That's the difference between the two teams. One team, Montreal Canadiens, seem to capitalize on most of their chances. The Leafs, on the other hand, have missed on several. They're holding up the game, waiting for that stick.
Lining up for the face-off. The puck is dropped. Harvey shoots the puck down the ice, and there's 45 seconds left in Beliveau's penalty. Stanley back. Stanley coming out. To center ice with Harris, Eamon, and Mahamalik. Shot was deflected off the glass. Harris to Eamon. Eamon shot rolled in front, and it's knocked down the ice. Stanley goes back for it. Stanley ahead to Mahamalik. Mahamalik straight up the ice, over the line. Passed it to Kelly. Kelly went by the net. Tried to relay it back in front. Almost checked. Less than a minute to go in the first period. Puck is loose along the boards. Stanley passes it over to an open wing. There was nobody there, and Marshall gets a break. Going down with Beliveau. Going in, Marshall shoots. And he's shot wide. It's the Leafs now with Kelly, a pass to Harris. Harris going over the line. Took his shot just wide. And Marshall shoots it out. It's Beliveau going down on the wing, tried to pass it in front, and Kelly breaks it up. Kelly now up the center, a pass to Eamon. Eamon couldn't get through. Back come the Canadiens. Beliveau takes his shot. It was wide. Brewer. A pass to Harris. Harris going straight up the ice at center. A pass to Stewart on the right wing. He shoots. And he's shot wide. Brewer let one go, and the Canadiens break it up. Henri Richard goes down the ice. Gets over the line. Shot as the bell went to end the first period. And it ends 2-0 in favor of Montreal Canadiens. Score, Montreal Canadiens 2, Toronto Maple Leafs no score. And this game is being brought to you direct from Maple Leaf Gardens in Toronto by Imperio Esso, dealers and agents.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Ed Bitkin, and the parade of hot stove notables begins tonight with Milt Schmidt, the coach of the Boston Bruins. And Milt, how about a comment on the first period?
Well, the period started a little bit slow, but as play progressed out there, the period progressed, I should say, the play definitely picked up as well. It got faster as things went on. Then around the 8-minute mark, a little past the 8-minute mark, why a couple of goals were scored within about 30 seconds, and both goals were scored by the Montreal Canadiens. Both were screened on Johnny Bauer, who didn't have no chance whatsoever. And then, of course, it played really livened up around the 10-minute mark, and within about 3 minutes, why Toronto had about 3 penalties, and they did a tremendous job out there in holding those that powerful Montreal's power play off the score sheet.
What did you think of it so far in the series? We haven't had a chance to see whether Toronto would do anything if they ever got the first goal. No.
Well, it's a fact that Toronto has not scored the first goal, and then everybody was looking forward to the fact that if they did score, just what would happen. I read a comment today where Tim Black said that his team would definitely win if they scored the first goal, but they really got their backs up against the wall now, and you can look for some wide open play in the next period.
Well, thank you very much, Milt Schmidt, and now down to Ward Cornell.
Good evening, everyone, and we're most happy to have with us now a man who's been associated with the Leaf organization for many years as a great player, coach, and manager, Hap Day. Well, Hap, how are you enjoying this one?
Well, I'm enjoying it a lot. I just noted with a lot of interest what Milt Schmidt had to say about that game starting awfully slow. If that was a slow start, well, then I'm glad I'm out of hockey, because that's just about as fast as I thought a game could move. And you have to give the Leafs a capital A for effort, because they're certainly doing everything they can, but they're having a tough time getting a clear shot on Plant. And the one that they did have, why, he made a very nice save on it. And I'm looking forward with a great deal of interest to the rest of the game, because something's going to happen sooner or later. The tension is going to blow the roof off the Gardens, I think.
Hap, it was about 18 years ago tonight, just about at this time, the Toronto Maple Leafs, with you coaching, were some 3 games down in their series, and then they came on in that famous series to win it 4 straight. What did you say to them in that particular game? Did you make any strategic moves? What did you do to get the team up for that one?
Gee, was that 18 years ago, Ward?
That's frightening, isn't it?
It sure is. Well, we had a series with Rangers that year, and before we met Detroit, and we won that series in 4 games. It was a terrific series, I thought, and both teams going all out. And it looked as if the team and the coach thought that they had won the Stanley Cup, because when we met Detroit, why, we weren't a hockey team at all. And at that time, in 42, was the first instance where teams started to shoot the puck in, and Detroit had done it more than any other team in the league, I believe, and they were particularly good at it. And they came into Maple Leaf Gardens, and they outshot us and outfought us and outchecked us, and just about ousted us out of the Gardens in the first 2 games here. They won it. We went back to Detroit, and we started to play their system, and the team started to look a little better. But we lost that game too, and there was a conference of the brains then, and they called me into Detroit and asked what was wrong and with the team, or what we had to do. And I remember the remark was said that, well, we have a sick patient and you have to do something. So we had some very good recruits that year, had been playing in the minor leagues, and they joined the team, and they were fresh. And the series with Rangers had been so tough that we had Bucko McDonald and Gordy Drillin, who had played their hearts out in that game, and they were just physically weary. So we took those 2 out and injected Don Metz, who played a terrific series for us and practically won the thing, and Ernie Dickens. And in the 4th game, or previous to the 4th game, I received a letter from a little girl here in Toronto. She was 12 years old, and it was heart-rending almost, the way she expressed herself and the way the confidence she had in our team, and that she knew that she prayed to God that we would win, and she knew we would. And the only thing I did was read that letter to the players before the team, and I can remember as they went up to get out in the ice, Srini Schreiner said, "Don't worry about this one, Coach. We will win it for that little girl." And from the drop of the puck, that was the first time in 4 games, or the starting of the 4th game, that I felt that we had a hockey team again. And the rest is history, Ward.
Well, thanks, Hap. And one of the gentlemen, of course, involved in that great series was Gordy Drillin. We're happy to have Gordy here tonight. I suppose, Gordy, it was pretty hard sitting that one out, was it?
Yes, it was, Ward. Hap says it seems to be 18 years ago, but it seems that I've been benched for probably 13 of the last 18 years. Every time a team loses 3, I usually see a paper about the game in 1942.
Oh, yeah, they keep bringing it up. Is that right, Greg?
Yes.
Well, of course, you had one of the great finishes around the net of any Leaf player. You're on the Maritimes now, aren't you,
Yes,
Gord?
I'm in St. John, New Brunswick.
And what are you doing down there?
I'm with Burma Propane Gas.
And do you come up every year for the Stanley Cup?
Yes, I've been up for the last 7 years now. The finals, it's been pretty cheap for me for 6 or 7 years because I always had to go to Montreal.
Yeah, this
Not
year
too far to go.
Gord, what team do you feel was the greatest hockey team that you've seen play?
Well, I always thought that up until I've seen the Canadiens play tonight in this series, I thought the 1939 and 40 New York Rangers were the best team I saw.
Did you think the Canadiens topped them as a team, do you?
Well, I think they do. I've never seen a team in all the years that I've played mixed up with hockey that has been in such good condition at this club.
Gordy, didn't you have a great experience once as a defenseman? And you played with, you were moved on to
Yes, I believe one of the second year, it was the second year that I was playing because I know it wasn't the first because the first year I never got caught back. But the second year we were playing Boston this night and was a mix-up behind our net and my skate got caught in the net. And the time I got up and got out of it, the play had been up in the other end, and so I had to stay back with Horner. And Collie broke out with nobody to beat but Horner and I and Turk, and I said to Red, I said, what will I do? Red says, don't move. So anyway, Collie came up and shifted right through the center of us, went in, pulled Turk out and put it in the net, and I looked sheepishly at Red, and Red said, Drillin', you move.
Good. Well, thank you very much, Gord. And Hap, we're going to have to move now as we go up top for Al Colley and his next guest.
Same they did to your Blackhawks.
Yes, they are. Control, they have to be admired. I don't know where they got the system or where they started to play, but they've been doing it for a few good years right now. And say they're dedicated to win and burning desire to win it all. Shows the consistency of play. It's enjoyable to watch them play, and I'm glad that they're giving. They're just.
Ward Cornell with you again once down below. We're having a bit of mic trouble there, and we'll perhaps go up top to Rudy Phillips in a moment. But Hap, this is a good opportunity to ask you a question that has always interested me. What actually does a coach do the night of the game behind the bench? Is it really too late to do anything, or does he make strategic moves, or what?
Before I answer that, Ward, I noted that you said to or question Gordy what he's doing. Well, I'm with Elgin Handles in St. Thomas.
I'm sorry, Hap.
But our coach, I think, in the night of the game is the most important player on the team. He has to get that team in physical condition, and then he has to get them in mental condition, which is awfully tough. And his job is to have a fighting team out there.
Good. Now I guess we're ready. So thanks again, gentlemen, and here's our next guest up top.
Rudy, we seem to have reestablished communications, and I was remarking on Milt Schmidt's remark that the Canadians play that funny game so often, don't let you have the puck at all. Have you noticed that?
Well, yes, they play that kind of a game, and it's kind of the byword around the league, but not so much tonight, although they have puck control, but they seem to be having more speed and more desire to want to get down the other end, and that's the Leaf end with the puck, although they still hold control of the puck, and that particular last goal, it was a beauty.
Rudy, if you were able to change any move that you made during your series against the Canadiens, what would you do?
Well, naturally, we'd need 2 or 3 players that we'd like to make changes of. I would think we'd have to have a top-flight National League centerman. I'd like to see another defenseman in our defense corps, and if we could catch another right winger and even a left winger. We'll take a whole forward line of defensemen to help us.
We'll tell Toe Blake that you want one of his top lines, Rudy, and see what he says.
We'll take any line.
Thanks very much, Rudy Phillips, coach of the Chicago Blackhawks. In just a moment, we'll return to Foster and Bill Hewitt for the play-by-play of the second period.
Teams are out on the ice, preparatory to the start of the second period, with the Montreal Canadiens leading 2-0. In the first game of the series, they led by 3 goals in the first period. Second game, they had a 2-goal lead. And then in the third game in Toronto, they had a 1-goal lead, but only 21 seconds was played in the second period before they had a 2-0 lead. So that the Leafs are fairly close to what they have been in the series so far, in which the Montreal Canadiens have won 3 straight and are threatening to take it in 4 straight and equal the Detroit Red Wings record in 1951-52 of going through to the Stanley Cup in 8 straight games. Canadians already have knocked off Chicago Blackhawks 4 straight, and they lead the Leafs 3 games to nothing and lead 2-0 starting the second period.
On the face-off, Provo on the right wing to Goyette. Cleared the puck into the Leaf zone. Bauer leaving it for Horton to Edmondson. Edmondson going up the ice to center. Shot the puck over the line. Left it for Mahavlich. Mahavlich getting set. And he passed it into the corner. Edmondson, a shot. Langlois clearing it off the boards to Goyette. Goyette out to Provo. And Stanley gets back to cover up. Stanley over to Mahavlich. Mahavlich to Horton. Horton going up the center. Shot the puck over the line. Harvey's back for it. Stopped by Mahavlich, who tipped it behind the net. Kelly didn't see it. And the Canadiens bring it out. Goyette at center. Passes over to Langlois. Langlois' shot goes wide, and Mahavlich gets the rebound. Mahavlich tried to come out. He failed. Goyette passes to Pronovo, and he couldn't get his shot. It comes back to Harvey. Harvey flicks it, and Stanley covers up. Stanley, a pass to Edmondson. Edmondson tried to go through. He did, but the puck went too fast for him. Horton back to Stanley. Stanley to Mahavlich. Mahavlich tried to flick it in. It's Canadiens coming back. Pronovo over the line. Horton covers him. Jammed him in on the boards. Edmondson clearing to Mahavlich. Mahavlich cleared it, but not out. Canadiens with Jeffrey on, trying to get set. Still has it. Edmondson covers up. Edmondson in the corner. Coming up at his own blue line at center. Goes over the Canadian line. Still stick handling with it. Tried a shot. Ran into the Canadian player, and Johnson takes over. Steering it out and down the ice as Edmondson goes off for a rest. Horton back to cover up. Polnow watches him. Horton to Pulford, stopped by Beliveau. Beliveau rolled it over the line, and Brewer shoots it out. Talbot hands it to Pulford to Stewart. Back to Pulford, over the line, back for Stewart. And it's Beliveau clearing it out. Vaughn gets on the ice. A pass over to Stewart. Shot it into the Canadian zone. Talbot is back for it. Pulford watches him. They hold it against the boards for a face-off in the Montreal zone. Montreal leading by a score of 2-0 at the 2:41 mark of the second period.
It's noticeable in the play so far that the Montreal Canadiens control that puck quite a bit better than the Leafs. They don't get rid of it. Whereas, on the other hand, the Leafs have been shooting.
On the face-off, Stewart shot wide. Brewer takes a drive. Pulford tried to get the rebound. Johnson in the corner. Coming out of the right wing with a pass to Beliveau. Beliveau tried to go through. Bauer came out of his net. Brewer covers up. Play is called, and there will be a face-off in the Maple Leaf zone. Beliveau, Jeffrion, and Bona. Talbot and Johnson on the defense. From the draw, back to Talbot. Talbot's shot knocked down by Stewart. Beliveau cleared it to an open wing. Brewer. A pass for Pulford. Pulford up at center. Goes to the Canadian line, trying to go through. Talbot skated up. by Bellevaux. Bellevaux rolled it over the line, and Brewer shoots it out. Talbot hands it to Pulford to Stewart. Back to Pulford, over the line, back for Stewart. And it's Bellevaux clearing it out. Bond gets on the ice. A pass over to Stewart. Shot it into the Canadian zone. Talbot is back for it. Pulford watches him. They hold it against the boards for a face-off in the Montreal zone. Montreal leading by a score of 2-0 at the 2:41 mark of the second period.
It's noticeable in the play so far that the Montreal Canadiens control that puck quite a bit better than the Leafs. They don't get rid of it. Whereas, on the other hand, the Leafs have been shooting.
On the face-off, Stewart shot wide. Brewer takes a drive. Pulford tried to get the rebound. Johnson in the corner. Coming out of the right wing with a pass to Bellevaux. Bellevaux tried to go through. Bauer came out of his net. Brewer covers up. Play is called, and there will be a face-off in the Maple Leaf zone. Bellevaux, Jeffrion, and Bona. Talbot and Johnson on the defense. From the draw, back to Talbot. Talbot's shot knocked down by Stewart. Bellevaux cleared it to an open wing. Brewer. A pass for Pulford. Pulford up in center. Goes to the Canadian line, trying to go through. Talbot skated him off, and the puck went out. Brewer on a pass from Bond, sets up Olmstead. Olmstead rolls it in, goes after it, took a shot. Olmstead tried to center it from behind the net. Goes to the corner. Cleared it around on the wing. Brewer passing right in front of Pulford. Pulford's shot was stopped by Talbot. And Talbot gets it out. Stewart checked him. Johnson, number 10, a pass to Jeffrion. Stopped by Olmstead. Now then, Brewer goes in over the line, going in with Stewart. Stewart trying to get his shot. It's right in front. It goes off to the side. There's going to be a penalty handed out on the play to the Canadians. It'll go to Talbot.
That means the total is now 6 penalties in the game. Leafs having 3 and the Montreal Canadiens 3. Talbot 17. Of course, the Leafs had their 3 penalties practically together. So they played 2 men short for quite a space of time. That was one of the highlights of the first period, the defensive work of the Leafs. The other big highlight was the 2 fast goals by the Montreal Canadiens. Bellevaux's shot going in off a Leaf player, but the second one was a screen shot as well by Harvey and caught the corner.
Lining up for the face-off. The puck is dropped. Duff was caught with a high stick. It's down for the Canadians. They shoot it back. Harvey passing to Johnson. Johnson going up to center ice. Takes his shot wide. Stanley. A pass to Armstrong. Armstrong with Kelly and Duff. Kelly over the line. Waits. Pass it. Duff couldn't get it. It's cleared out and down the ice. And it's Regan going back for it. Regan behind the net. Pass over to Duff on the left wing. Duff going over the line. Took his shot wide. Went after the rebound. Johnson beat him to it. Pass off the boards of Provo. Knocked it out. Kelly now turns for the Leafs. Coming up to the Canadian line. A pass to Regan, and it's offside. We've played 4 minutes and 56 seconds of the second period. Montreal 2, Toronto Maple Leafs no score. Leafs have Harris with Eamon and Mahamlet, Stanley and Kelly. Marshall with Harvey, Provo, and Johnson. Stanley goes back. 55 seconds left in Talbot's penalty. Stanley coming up
save of the night when Mahovlich walked right in. He hit Brown in the shoulder with his shot, and Brown is wanting to go to the bench. There he goes. He hurt his right arm as the shot hit him on the right arm, apparently. Mahovlich walked right through and then elected to shoot from about 10 feet out, and it caught Plant right on the shoulder. Seems as if it caught him right on the muscle there. The referee is standing by, Eddie Powers and linesman George Hayes, as Plant is going to leave the ice and possibly go to the dressing room. Yes, he's going to the dressing room, and the crowd are pelting the ice, which isn't a very common occurrence here because they generally put anybody out that throws anything on the ice. Close to 14,000 in attendance at Maple Leaf Gardens for this fourth game. And the Montreal Canadiens again showing their great power. And Canadiens tonight will give them the Stanley Cup for a record 5 times. Now they're all set to go, and here's Bill Hewitt.
All set for the face-off. Talbot in the penalty box. The puck comes back. Kelly clears to Olmsted. Back to Mahovlich. Mahovlich passed it back. Stanley couldn't keep it in. And the Leafs get back. It's Kelly to Eamon. Eamon took his shot. Steered to Marshall. He stopped by Mahovlich. Back to Kelly. Kelly shot wide. It came out in front. Mahovlich tried to get it back. Johnson covers up along the boards with Mahovlich and Eamon.
The Leafs came close again there around the Montreal net, but they just seemed to lose control at the crucial time. And of course, this Montreal defense is crowding them at every opportunity. Canadians are a man short. Talbot has about 17 seconds left in his penalty.
From the face-off, it's back to Stanley. Stanley took his shot, and that was wide. Marshall shoots the puck down the ice. Stanley goes back for it. Stanley in full flight up to the Canadian line. Cuts over on the right wing. Rolled it in front. Eamon took his man out. The puck ends up behind the net. Olmsted and Harvey go for it. Mahovlich tried to center it. Harvey and Talbot cover up. Then Olmsted is knocked down as they hold it long enough for a face-off at the 6-9 mark of the second period. Montreal are leading 2-0 over the Toronto Maple Leafs. Regan, Duff, and Armstrong with Vaughn and Brewer on the defense. Regan lines up in the circle. Lost the draw. Duff goes after the puck. Armstrong tried to center it. Duff and Johnson went down. And Henri Richard with Maurice Richard and Moore. A pass for Moore on the left wing failed to click. Vaughn stopped by Maurice Richard. Maurice Richard stopped by Vaughn, who overskated it. Then Armstrong of the Leafs knocked it out, and Moore took it away from him. Moore goes over the line, got it into the corner. Vaughn Armstrong of the Leafs takes over in his own zone. A pass to Brewer. Brewer's pass nowhere near Regan. Canadians try to get over the line, and Duff goes down the left wing. Duff over the line, tried to go through, and the Canadians fail to get it out. Armstrong waits, passes it back to Brewer. Brewer shoots. He shot wide. Regan from behind the net passed it right in front of the goal, and it's cleared by the Canadians down the ice. Goes over the red line. Brewer 18 touches it, and the Canadians are called for icing. We played 7 minutes and 18 seconds of the second period. 2-0 Montreal.
The Leafs appear to be shooting the works here in this second period to try and get within striking distance of the Montreal Canadiens, who really popped 2 fast ones in that first period. 29 seconds apart.
On the face-off, Fulford tried to center it. He did. Geoffrion takes over. Ahead to Belleville. Belleville going up at center ice. Tried to get over the line. It was offside. And there'll be a face-off outside the Maple Leaf blue line. Referee is Eddie Powers. The linesmen are George Hayes and Loring Doolittle. Puck was knocked off, poked by Pulford down the ice. Langlois gets back for it, number 19. Langlois just stays at the side of the net, starts coming out himself with a pass to Bonin. Bonin, a pass intercepted by Horton. Langlois carries on to Jeffrion. He's taken out of the play, and Olmsted. A pass to Stewart. Stewart takes his shot. Plant stopped that. Cleared it behind the net. Olmsted trying to center it. He's jammed against the boards. There's no further play. And there'll be a face-off in the Montreal zone to the right of Plant.
They've played 8 minutes of the second period with the Montreal Canadiens still leading 2-0.
From the face-off, Canadians clear the puck down the ice to center, and Horton, number 7, is back for it. Horton over to Stanley. That hopped over his stick. Pulford shot the puck down the ice. It's going over the red line. It's touched by Harvey, and it'll be called for icing and a face-off back in the Maple Leaf zone to the left of Bauer.
Of the 2 Montreal Canadian goals scored, Belleville, it's his 3rd of this series, and Harvey, his 2nd.
From the face-off, Jeffrion was checked, and Olmsted goes up to center ice, gets over the line, goes to the corner, ran into Langlois. They try to get the puck loose. Horton trying to get it loose again. Horton is knocked down, gets up, fakes a shot, gets set again, lets it go. Olmsted tried to get loose. Canadians clear the puck off the board. Stewart kept it in. Belleville rolls it to the line. Stewart takes his shot. Pulford was grabbed. And there's going to be a penalty to Langlois. And he's going to get a 10-minute penalty as well.
Langlois, 19 for the Montreal Canadiens. Getting a new stick. He broke it as he showed his displeasure. Jeffrion is arguing with the referee. Langlois wants to get another word in, apparently, but he decides to pull away. There's the argument going on with Jeffrion and Harvey with the referee.
Canadian penalty. Langlois, 2 minutes for hooking and a 10-minute misconduct. Time, 8:50.
8:50 is the official time of the minor penalty plus the 10-minute misconduct to Langlois. So Montreal Canadiens have had the 3 penalties in this second period. Talbot a minor, Langlois a minor, and a misconduct.
On the face-off, Harris hooks it loose to Eamon to Mahovlich. Mahovlich waits. Back to Brewer. Brewer to Kelly. Kelly took his shot. Then hopped over his stick, and the puck goes down the ice. Brewer, number 18, back for it. Brewer coming up himself and his own blue line to center. Tried to go over the line and failed. Harris fell, and Johnson hit the linesman. Kelly, number 4, starting up now for the Leafs to center. Passed it over to Eamon. Eamon chopped it in behind the net. Harris to Mahovlich and rolls out in front. Comes back to Brewer. Brewer shot it wide. Kelly clears it. Mahovlich went after it. Eamon covered by Provo. Then it shot to the opposite wing. Harris turning. A pass back to Mahavlich. Mahavlich passing it, and it goes all the way out down the ice. Mahavlich, a pass to Harris. He tried to go over the line. Harris is knocked down. Brewer is back for it, and the Leafs are changing, and it's Brewer straight up the ice at center, over the line. Is knocked down. Regan carries on, takes the shot. Oh, hit the post. Up. And just went off to the side. Armstrong to Regan. Regan's shot was knocked down by Harvey. Duff centered it right in front, and Johnson clears it down the ice. Langbaugh has 15 seconds. It's Duff leading the Leaf attack at center. A pass to Kelly over the line. Duff tried to keep it in. It's cleared out by the Canadiens, and Brewer has to go back for it. Bauer's out of his net, and Montreal returned to full strength. Brewer gets away from Maurice Richard. A pass for Regan. It goes into the Canadian zone, and it's called for icing as it was cleared from the Leaf side of the checkered line at center. We played 11 minutes in the second period, and the score is Montreal 2, Toronto Maple Leafs no score. Lining up, the puck is dropped. It goes back to the blue line. Duff and Maurice Richard bumped. Harvey takes his shot. It was deflected by Maurice Richard just wide of the net. Maurice Richard passes to Moore. Moore shoots it. It hits Bauer. Bauer made the save. Maurice Richard was knocked down. It's the Canadiens putting on the pressure. Moore back to Harvey. Harvey's shot was deflected. It goes to the boards, and Regan takes over. Regan gets away from Maurice Richard. Also away from Henri Richard. A pass to Duff. They're closing in over the line. Stanley went in with him, and Henri Richard covers up. Maurice Richard to Henri Richard at center. Martin gets it to Regan. Over to Duff. He tips it into the Canadian zone. Goes after it. He and Harvey bump together. Then Armstrong ran into Harvey. Puck is brought out by Maurice Richard. Up over the Leaf line. A drop pass for Henri Richard to Moore. And Fulford rolls it out. It's Olmstead after it. Fulford trying to help him out. Horton was checked by Henri Richard, and Stanley turned. Stanley to Armstrong. Back to Fulford. Fulford ran into Turner, who's out for the first time in the game, playing on the defense. Moss came out of his net. Olmstead and Harvey bump together. The puck goes to the corner, and the Canadiens clear it out to center ice. Stanley breaking it up. Stanley shoots it in again. Harvey's back for it. Harvey knocked down by Fulford. And Henri Richard comes out for the Canadiens. He's stopped by Brewer, and there's going to be a penalty to Fulford. That'll be a hooking penalty to Fulford. Just going in the box now. Of course, Langlois is still sitting out as misconduct. But substitution, of course, is allowed. So that the Toronto Maple Leafs now will be a man short. Montreal Canadiens at full strength. They played about 12 minutes and 43 seconds. 12:44 is the correct time. Stewart and Kelly with Vaughn and Brewer to kill off the penalty. Hickey is now out on the forward line with Beliveau and Bona. Geoffrion and Johnson playing back with Geoffrion in possession. Geoffrion gets away from Stewart, gets a new stick, has Geoffrion to Beliveau, rolled it in front, it comes back to the blue line. Johnson shot to the side of the net to Bona. Bona trying to center it in front. Too well covered, took his shot, and Bauer covered up and held it for a face-off. Canadians putting on the pressure. They have the odd man advantage. They lead in the hockey game 2-0 with 6 minutes and 45 seconds remaining in the second period. Stewart comes back after getting a proper stick. From the face-off, the puck comes back to Johnson. His shot was weak. Vaughn slapped at it, failed to get it out. Bonan took his shot, gets right in front of the net. A pass to Hickey, and he shot wide. Bonan cleared it in front to Hickey again. This time Vaughn takes over and shoots it down the ice. Geoffrion in possession now for the Canadians. A pass ahead to Belleville. Belleville at his own blue line with Hickey on the right. Belleville over the line. A pass to Bonan. Bonan was steered off stride, but gets it again. Passed it. Brewer breaks it up. Brewer to Stewart to Kelly. Going up. Pass to Brewer. He's in the clear. He shoots. He hit the post with the shot. It's back for the Canadians. Over the line to Belleville. Belleville going in. Passed it right in front, and Brewer breaks it up again. Brewer was right in the clear, and he hit the crossbar. It's Brewer going over the line, going back, passes it back to Kelly, and it's offside.
The Leafs seem to be about able to do everything but score. That one by Brewer was a spectacular rush and a bullet shot. It had Plot beaten, but it hit the top crossbar and bounded out. The Leafs are coming close to whittling that lead, but they just can't break through. Montreal Canadiens are keeping them on the move at all times, not letting them get set for any direct drive. The Leafs are crowding them just the same. From the face-off, Horton shot the puck back into the Canadian zone. 7 seconds left in the penalty to Pulford. Armstrong and Regan on the forward line. Provo is stopped by Regan. Pulford gets back on the ice. Puck is in the Canadian zone. Pulford goes off. That stuff comes out. Goyette with Provo over the line. Provo takes his shot. Bauer made the save. Threw it off to the side. It comes back to the blue line. Harvey takes his shot. That goes wide of the Leaf net into the corner. Horton to Armstrong. Armstrong being watched by Marshall. Turns around. Gets away from one check. Now he's racing up the center. Tried to go over the line. He did. And stopped. Passing it right in front. It comes back to Stanley. His shot is deflected. Duff tried to get a whack at it, and the Canadians clear it down the ice. Horton back for it for the Maple Leafs. Ahead to Regan. Regan to Duff. Regan carries on, and it's offside as Duff was trapped inside the blue line. 5 minutes and 25 seconds remaining in the second period. The Leafs still trying to do everything to break through. Langlois is still serving his misconduct. The teams are at full strength.
Goyette with Provo and Marshall. Puck is back. Turner coming out on the left wing. Shot the puck over the line, and it's offside at the Leaf blue line. 4 minutes and 17 seconds remaining in the second period. Montreal are leading the Toronto Maple Leafs 2-0. Horton working his way up. A pass rolls through, and the Canadian defense tightens as Harvey being watched, gets away from Regan. A pass ahead to Goyette. Goyette takes his shot. Bauer stopped it, and it's Armstrong, number 10. He fell. And Stanley comes up the ice. A pass for Armstrong. Armstrong tried to go through, ran into Harvey. That hurt. Armstrong is down. He ran into Harvey and is on his knees at the blue line.
Armstrong and Harvey seemed to collide there as Harvey just seemed to see him coming and turn at the right time, and he seemed to get the elbow into his side. Armstrong seemed to bounce off him and double up at the same time, as if his ribs were affected. All the players are standing by. Wilson, 19, hasn't seen much action yet, but he's skating around, trying to limber up. Armstrong getting up, number 10. He and Harvey clashed on that last one. And Armstrong ended up second best. Apparently he's all right. Less than 4 minutes remaining in the second period. This Montreal Canadian team putting on terrific defensive moves to thwart the Leafs, who've been going in high gear.
From the face-off, the puck was cleared out. Vaughn of the Leafs moves up, shoots the puck over the line. Moore trying to come out, watched by Harris. Gets it out to Henri Richard with Maurice Richard, who takes the pass. Maurice Richard passed it in front of Henri. Score! There's the crusher there, the two Richards combining on that. A beautiful play from Maurice Richard to Henri Richard right in front of the Maple Leaf net, and the puck was in. That's the third one that is generally a crusher in any game, especially when the Leafs in that second period seem to be able to do everything but score. And the Richards combined there for a perfect goal.
Canadians goal scored by Henry Richard, assist Maurice Richard and Moore. Time 16:40.
16:40 is the time as Mahavlich goes back for the Leafs over the line to Harris in the corner. Harris tried to come out in front. Henri Richard off stride. Eamon of the Leafs to Harris. Harris is too well covered. Mahavlich went behind the net and he couldn't center it. Moore tried to get it out of his own zone. Now it's Johnson coming up to Maurice Richard. Then Vaughn bumped into his check, and Mahavlich shoots it off the boards. Maurice Richard kept it in. Brewer from behind the Leafs net starts to work his way out. Montreal leading 3-0. Brewer with Mahavlich. Passing to Harris through the defense. He's knocked down. It's Moore of the Canadiens trying to come out. Tries his luck again at his own blue line. Up to center ice. With Jeffrey on, it was offside.
Henri Richard tried to finish off the play after the whistle had blown by trying to scoop it from back of the net. That's what the crowd were yelling about. 2 minutes and 10 seconds remaining in this second period. 3-0 for the Montreal Canadiens.
From the face-off, Stanley tried to come out. Too well covered by Bona. Horton rolled it out. Olmstead tried to get loose. Stanley back in his own zone. Skates into the corner. Rolls it to Horton. And Horton. A pass to Stewart. Stewart up at center. Shot the puck off the boards into the Canadian zone. Olmstead trying to center it, and Belleville breaks it up. Belleville goes down the right wing to center, up over the Maple Leaf line. He's getting in front to Bonaire. Bonaire goes right in, and he went by the net. He tried to pass it to Belleville. Belleville centered it, and it's Horton. Off the boards for Pooper too far, and Talbot covers up. Talbot of the Canadiens at center. Too well covered by Stewart. Turns again with Belleville, shoots the puck in, and it's Pooper. Pooper to head to Stewart. Stewart up at center, up over the Canadian line, closes in, takes his shot, opens it, and Plant got a hold of it. It's the Canadians with Belleville. Coming up over the Leaf line, Belleville ran into Stanley, and the puck is cleared to Stewart. Stewart tried to roll it out. Bonaire blocked by Duff. Bonaire turns around again as the Leafs are changing on the go. Goyette to Geoffrion. Geoffrion, a pass back to Marshall. Marshall passes to Goyette. He let it go. Back to Talbot. His shot was wide. Bauer steered it. Marshall tried to center it. Goyette passing it out in front of the net. Goyette takes his shot wide. The Leafs with Stewart shooting the puck high, and it ends up in the box seats. There's 7 seconds remaining in the second period. Montreal Canadiens 3. Toronto Maple Leafs no score. Face-off is in the Maple Leaf zone to the right.
That goal by Henri Richard was his 3rd goal of this Stanley Cup final.
From the face-off, Regan. A pass ahead to Wilson. Wilson passing it to Duff. Thought it was offside, and he pushed it ahead with his glove. 1 second now remaining in the second period. Face-off outside the blue line. Regan tipped the puck into the Canadian zone and pulls the bell to end the second period. And so at the end of the second, the score is Montreal Canadiens 3, Toronto Maple Leafs no score. This game is being brought to you from Toronto by Imperial.
I'm Al Cawley, and you know very well this is Milt Schmidt standing beside me. Milt, the Toronto Maple Leafs had a lot of good scoring chances, I thought, in that second period, but they weren't able to take advantage.
Well, that's very, very true. As a matter of fact, it's sort of disheartening to a hockey club when they played a period such as they did, speaking of the Toronto Maple Leafs, and then going into that dressing room and finding out that you're 3 down. As a matter of fact, they had some wonderful opportunities. Mahavlich went in there one time, and Pont made a tremendous save on him. And plus the fact that twice Larry Regan hit the goal post and also Brewer. So that could very easily be the turning point right there. But you can look for a real good third period, I think, because the Leafs, with their back towards that wall right at the present time, really have to open up to try and get them back.
Milt, were you ever hit on the arm the way Jacques Plante was?
I sure was, and I can tell you that we don't wear any pads. The players don't wear any pads on their arms at all. All they have is an elbow pad, and the goaltender has practically nothing there at all due to the fact that he wants to have a lot of freedom to use that catching hand. And Pont, I'm sure that it really hurt him because that puck was going pretty fast.
It'd just about paralyze your arm muscle temporarily.
It would do. It will, yes.
Well, thanks, Milt Schmidt. Now we're moving down to the studio with his guest, Ward Cornell.
Ward Cornell with you again, speaking from our intermission TV studios in Maple Leaf Gardens. And it's from this particular studio that each week on our Saturday night telecast, you'll see interviews with Jack Dennett, the late Tom Foley, Ed Fitkin, and sportscasters from all across the country. And people are most interested in these particular telecasts and the interviews at the intermission time, and they gather out in front of the glass here at Maple Leaf Gardens to look in. And we have quite intricate sets, a variety of trophy rooms and a quiz panel room and so on. And since this might very well be our last game, judging by the score, we thought we'd take you on an informal tour of the particular studio tonight. And so as we move around, you can see through the glass door, perhaps see some of the fans outside. That's the door that leads down to the corridor where the Maple Leafs and the Montreal Canadiens have their dressing rooms. And we move over to the trophy set, And there it is, the Stanley Cup, and we have a gentleman here watching it. Your name, sir?
Leo Lutsky,
And Leo, where are you from?
Montreal.
And how come you're at the hockey game?
Well, about 11 years I followed the Canadiens on the playoffs.
Is that right? Have you
Home
missed
and
a
away.
game?
No, not for 11 years.
How come?
Well, because when Mr. Selke came to the Forum, I was very friendly with his son and with Mr. DeRush of the publicity, and they're the ones that look after the tickets out of town, the train and hotel reservations. And I've been traveling with them ever since.
I suppose you're the envy of Montreal.
Well, I think so.
Especially in the last few years when they've had this magnificent cup with them for quite some time.
Oh, yes, and they may have it for many more years because we may lose a few players in the draft, but we have very good juniors coming up.
Leo, when you're traveling around the country, do you think that the Canadians play a better game in any other outside rink than any other?
No, I don't think the rink matters. We just have a very powerful hockey team. I think the rink doesn't make much difference.
And as a fan, do you think the Rocket's going to retire this year or not?
I don't know, but I think he might.
That was the last goal. It was a pretty good one. All right, excuse me, Leo, for moving in front of you. Good evening, sir. Your name?
Frank Stanley.
And Frank, you're from where?
Toronto.
And you're a Leaf fan.
Absolutely.
For how many years?
Died
sir?
in the wall. Well, back to the old Musical Street Arena days.
Is that right? That
Yeah.
goes back a long time.
Yeah.
And what Leaf team do you remember the most?
Well, I'd like to remember the one that came back and won 4 straight against Detroit.
And they've only got about 20 minutes left to try and start on that way back again.
Well, the puck's not bouncing for us, and I think we've had it, but we've still got another 20 minutes yet.
Frank, as a regular fan and being at the Gardens quite a bit, supposing that you could do anything as a coach tonight, was there anything you'd like to try?
No, I got the greatest confidence in Punch. I knew Punch in the service, and he was on the forward line with Jimmy Conacher and Jerry Brown, and Punch always had that die-hard spirit, and if anything can be done, Punch will do it.
And do you think they're going to strengthen the team at all for next year?
Oh, I think so. We might pick up some other Canadians in the draft.
Oh, that's what the Leaf fans are crossing their fingers for anyway.
Yeah, we'll take Backstrom right away now.
Anytime he's given, eh?
That's right, yes.
Thank you very much, Mr. Stanley. And now we move into our next set, and this is where we held our quiz shows. Good evening. Just excuse me a moment. I want to talk about this set. We had quite a few letters this year on the many quizzes that we held, for which we're very happy to the people out there, and it proved a most interesting feature. Now, excuse me, your name?
Ruth Hughes.
Mrs. Hughes,
Yes,
is it?
uh-huh.
And you're from?
Toronto.
And so you're a Toronto fan?
No, I'm a Montreal fan.
You're a Montreal
I'm a
fan?
Montreal originally.
Oh, I see. And how long have you been living in Toronto?
8 years.
And you still are a Montreal fan?
Oh, absolutely.
Is this the best team that you've seen of the Canadians?
Well, I think, yes, I think so.
Do you have a favorite player?
I hate to admit this, but I like Johnny Bauer.
Johnny Bauer. Well, he's played a wonderful series. And your name, sir?
I'm Jill Sabrin.
And Jill, you're from where?
I'm from Montreal.
And actually, I think I've seen you before, haven't I?
Yes, I act as a spotter for the French play-by-play commentator. I've been doing this for the last 8 years, actually.
Well, actually, what does a spotter do in hockey? I wouldn't think there were that many people to watch.
Well, a spotter obtains the lineup for the games, the officials. He has to also get the shots on goals, the out-of-town scores. He compiles statistics such as goals, penalties, and their times. And he also has to be on top of the game so as to bring to the attention of the commentator anything which may be missed due to the excitement or due to the fact that the play may be taking place in a different position.
Just as a matter of interest, on that last goal, how would the French commentator sound when Rocket scored?
I'm afraid I can't comment on this, Ward, because I was just walking down the stairs when this
Well, what's he
goal was
likely to say in French?
Oh, il compte.
Yeah.
Dans ce compte.
Good. Thank you very much. Excuse me for moving in front of you. Now moving over to the next spot and recognize both of these people. First of all, Mrs. Hesketh, who is the wife of an advertising executive, and also a sports columnist, and, of course, well-known TV personality Wally Coster. Mrs. Hesketh, how are you enjoying the game today?
Just, well, a little disappointing right at the moment.
Are you an habitual fan?
Yes, I am.
And how did you become interested? Through Bob's work with sport?
Yes, when Bob was first connected with the hockey team as a reporter. And I found that through him being involved in this, I became quite a fan.
In all sports as well, or just hockey?
I enjoy all sports, but I think my favorite is hockey.
Do you have a favorite player?
Well, not on this particular team, but I think over all the games I have seen, I always enjoyed Turk Broda. I think he was a terrific playoff goalie.
Being on most of the trips, you get a chance to know the players as sort of individuals rather than as players. Did they ever have any surprises for you from the way they behave in the ice? And so on?
I never was lucky enough to go on any of the trips, but I did meet some of them personally, and I found them very pleasant. Sometimes they were quite surprising. They were a little rough
Like
on
whom?
the ice, but, well, I think that the defensemen, perhaps Thompson and Mortson, were very pleasant.
Good. Well, before I thank, excuse me, will you, Allison, will I move in here with Wally? Excuse me for walking in front of you. Wally, you're an old hockey player yourself.
Quite old, yeah. The reason,
excuse me, I'm sorry. Young hockey player.
The reason why I quit playing hockey was because I was never a particularly good one, and I decided to stay in the singing profession. I'm awfully glad of the choice. However, one thing that amazes and pleases me is the tremendous aura of excitement that is generated by the Stanley Cup hockey playoffs. It's just wonderful to be here. I'm enjoying the game no matter who wins.
Thank you very much,
Thank
Wally.
you, Ward.
Now we move along, and of course this is where Murray Westgate is. He's gone out to work in the garden. And now we move down here into the locker room, and we're going to chat now with Mrs. Imlach and, well, three little Imlachs here, really, counting this one. What's his name?
Clancy.
He's Clancy, eh? Named after anyone we know?
Yes, King Clancy.
He is. And what's your name?
Marlene.
And yours?
Brett.
And Mrs. Imlach, excuse me, youngsters, for moving the mic in front of you. Mrs. Imlach, what is Punch like when he comes home after losing a tough game?
It's better to ask me what I'm like.
Oh, are you tougher than Punch?
I think I take it just as hard, if not harder,
Good. Maybe it's just as wise to be on the attack.
in his work, so I guess it's just natural.
Good. And Brent, do you have a favorite player in the National Hockey League?
Yes, I do. I like John Beliveau. I think he's a really good hockey player.
And what about you, Marlene?
I like,
Well, what, does he play for Detroit? Oh. Gordie Howe?
Yes.
Gordie Howe. And who does Clancy like, do you think? Clancy?
I don't know about him.
And Brent, do you think there's still any chance that your father's team just might come alive here in this final period and pull it out and go on?
Well, I hope so. I hope they do.
Chip off the old block, are you? Good. Well, thank you very, very much, Mrs. Imlach and the young Imlachs, and we hope that you've enjoyed moving around our studio and the various sets that we've shown you tonight, and our thanks to the many guests who've come in from the corridor. In just a moment, we'll return to Foster and Bill Hewitt with a play-by-play of the third period.
Waiting for the two teams to return to the ice for the third period, with the Montreal Canadiens leading 3-0. And on the two periods, they've had a definite margin in the play. The simple fact that they have been the real opportunists on every opportunity they've had. They've really made it count. Beliveau got the first goal at 8:16 from Geoffrion and Langlois. That was Beliveau's third goal of the series. And then just 29 seconds later, Harvey fired a long shot with Geoffrion and Langlois assisting at 8:45. And the Maple Leafs were immediately behind the 8 ball. Canadians outshot the Leafs 15-8 in that first period. There were 5 penalties, the Leafs getting 3 and Montreal Canadiens 2. It was a rugged first period and a fiery one that threatened to break out at times, but referee Eddie Powers kept a tight hand on the proceedings. The second period, the Maple Leafs really shot the works. They seemed to have a definite edge in the play, but the Montreal Canadiens got the only goal, that at 16:40. Henri Richard taking a perfect pass from Maurice Richard right in front of the goal. And Henri Richard tipped it home. The Leafs had 2 tremendous chances in that period when Mahovlich was in alone and Brewer also hit the crossbar. But Plant was unbeatable on several other close-in tries. Talbot received the first Canadian penalty of the second period. Then Langlois received a hooking penalty and a misconduct for questioning it. And then Pulford went off for hooking. Total of 9 penalties in the game so far. Montreal Canadiens having 5 and the Maple Leafs 4. Of course, 1 Canadian penalty was a misconduct and substitution was allowed. Henri Richard scored his 3rd goal of this series. And the Montreal Canadiens are threatening to walk away with their fourth successive win over the Toronto Maple Leafs. It all depends in the next 20 minutes what happens. Now here's Bill Hewitt.
From the top, Edmondson turns for the Leafs. Getting up to center, shot it over the line. The Canadians break it up, and Marshall goes down at center over the line. Marshall going in, a pass to Probe, he's right in. Bauer made the save, and Stanley rolls it to the blue line, but not out. It's Horton moving up. A pass to Kelly. Kelly shot it into the Canadian zone behind the net. Marshall starts out now for Montreal. Poked it out to center ice, and Stanley breaks it up. He shoots it over the line. Pont out of his net to Talbot, who fell. Hooked it along the boards. Kelly covered his man. It comes back to Stanley. Stanley shot it around behind the net. It's hooked loose. Kelly getting it back to Stanley. Stanley fanned on his shot, and the Canadians come back. Goyette, Provo, and Marshall up over the line for Goyette. Back to Provo. He shoots. Bauer made the save. Marshall a shot, and Bauer made the save on that.
Canadians have broken loose there on a couple of occasions, and Johnny Bauer has had to be very steady on close-in tries by the Canadian team. They're quick to move. Kelly, the last player leaving the ice, number 4. Montreal Canadiens leaving with Talbot, followed by Turner. Or rather, Johnson.
From the face-off, a pass in front. Jeffrion took a shot, and Beaufort breaks it up. Beaufort tried to get out. Bona gets it back to Langlois. He poked it, and Belleville, Jeffrion, Bona back to Belleville. City score! The Montreal Canadiens made it look all so easy there on that crisscross passing play. It was just unbeatable. It was perfect timing all the way through. Belleville being on the receiving end to get his 4th goal of the Stanley Cup Series and put the Canadians practically beyond reach now of any rally the Leafs might hope to make. 4-0 now for the Canadians. The Canadians shoot the puck into the Maple Leaf zone, and Brewer's back for it. Brewer goes behind the net. Starts to work out. It's Olmsted closing in, takes his shot. 1:21 was the time. Stewart back to Bond. His shot hit a player. Bond gets another try, and that's wide. Harvey clears it. Olmsted on the Leafs trying to keep it in. Jeffrion rolls it out. Olmsted waits. Shoots it right back into the Canadian zone, and Belleville rolls it to Jeffrion. Jeffrion out at center ice. Knocked it over the Leaf line, and Brewer went over top of Belleville. Now it's Bona getting up over the Leaf line, running into Bond, and Olmsted covers up. Olmsted comes out. A pass to Pulford too far. Now it's Moore to Henri Richard. Henri Richard, a pass to Maurice Richard. His pass was knocked down. Armstrong of the Leafs ahead to Pulford. Pulford over the line. A pass to Olmsted, and the reply to Armstrong was offside. Armstrong went in on the right wing. They reached the 2:37 mark of the 3rd period. Montreal 4, Toronto Maple Leafs no score. Wilson comes out now on the right wing for the Leafs with Regan and Duff. Regan failed to get through. Henri Richard gets a try on the left wing, closes in with a shot. Bauer made the save, and Stanley rolled it, not out. Stanley, a pass over to Horton. Horton ahead to Wilson. Wilson for Duff. Duff tried to break in on the left wing, and it hit Johnson. Wilson keeps the puck into Regan. Regan takes his shot, and a nice save by Plante. Maurice Richard clears the puck out and down the ice. It's Henri Richard going after it. A pass for Moore, deflected off to the wing, and Wilson got back quickly. Wilson to Regan. Regan up at center. A pass for Duff. That just failed to click. Wilson turns. Back to Regan. He shot it into the Montreal zone. Duff and Johnson go together. Wilson tried to center it. And Moore comes back with Maurice Richard. Up over the line for Maurice Richard. He's trying to cut in, passed it back. And Regan breaks it up. Regan with Duff. Took the pass, going in with Eamon. Duff passed it right in front of the net, and it was stopped by Talbot. Talbot to Henri Richard and Moore. It's Henri going down. Goes right in, and Bauer made the save. And it nearly rolled into the net, and Stanley whacked it away. It goes to the opposite side. That was a close call. It's a chance for Provo. Provo's shot is knocked down, and Horton gets it. Horton picking his way out with Harris, Eamon, and Mahamlich. Horton was checked. It's back for Moore, going in offside. And the face-off will be outside the line. We've reached the 4:24 mark of the third period. Montreal 4. Toronto Maple Leafs, no score.
Montreal Canadiens led 2-0 in the first period, added a goal in the second period, 3-0, and have added one in this fourth. Belleville from Geoffrion and Bonan at 1:21 of the third period.
From the face-off, it's the Canadiens over the line. Harris takes over for the Leafs, going up to center. Gets over the line, passed it back for Mahamlich, and he failed to get it. Harris is knocked down. Brewer to Mahamlich. Mahamlich turning at center. A pass to Harris and Eamon. Richard and Moore. It's Henri going down. Goes right in, and Bauer made the save. And it nearly rolled into the net, and Stanley whacked it away. It goes to the opposite side. That was a close call. It's a chance for Provo. Provo's shot is knocked down, and Horton gets it. Horton picking his way out with Harris, Eamon, and Mahamlich. Horton was checked. It's back for Moore, going in offside. And the face-off will be outside the line. We've reached the 4:24 mark of the third period. Montreal 4. Toronto Maple Leafs, no score.
Montreal Canadiens led 2-0 in the first period, added a goal in the second period, 3-0, and have added one in this fourth. Belleville from Geoffrion and Bonan at 1:21 of the third period.
From the face-off, it's the Canadiens over the line. Harris takes over for the Leafs, going up to center. Gets over the line, passed it back for Mahamlich, and he failed to get it. Harris is knocked down. Brewer to Mahamlich. Mahamlich turning at center. A pass to Harris and Eamon that rolled over the line. Provo shoots it out. Brewer covers up. Back to Harris. Harris turns again. Gets it over the line to Eamon. Eamon a pass to Mahamlich. His shot hit Quan. Puck is brought back by Goyette to center. Over the line. Into Leaf territory to Marshall. A shot. Bauer knocked it out to the side. It goes into the corner. Eamon, number 17 to Mahamlich, 27. Mahamlich going out. A pass to Eamon. Eamon's shot. Deflected out to the side. Harris is knocked down. Puck is cleared to an open wing. Bond passes to Mahamlich. It's deflected into the corner. Harvey rolls it to Goyette. Goyette out to Provo on the right wing. He passes it back to Goyette. They're going in together. Provo shoots. Oh, that just failed to find the corner. Another shot, and Bauer made the save. Provo, another shot. And it's James. Down the right wing with Wilson. Over the line. James goes to the corner. Pass it right in front. And Edmondson just failed to get his shot. Back to Brewer. A pass right in front to James. James tried to pass it back. Covers Langlois. Marshall is dumped by Edmondson, who passes to Wilson. It's kicked out over the line. And it's Bond back for it. Bond to Brewer. Brewer, Wilson, and Edmondson over the line. Jeffreyon covers up. Jeffreyon gets away from Edmondson with Beliveau and Bonin over the line. Beliveau takes the drop pass. It's knocked down by Brewer. Brewer shot it behind the net, and it's Bond, number 21. A pass to Edmondson. Edmondson back to Bond to Edmondson at center ice. Edmondson failed to go all the way. Bond tried to help him out, and Bonin takes over. A long pass for Beliveau. Bauer shooting it off to the side, and there was a delayed whistle as Beliveau was offside. We played 6 minutes and 51 seconds of the third period, 4-0 in favor of Montreal.
Beliveau and Brewer nearly clashed there, but they thought better of it as they pulled away from the corner. Crowd seemed to like the line of James, Wilson, and Edmondson. That's really the close line.
Fulford with Olmsted and Stewart. Horton and Stanley, and from the face-off, back to Stanley, over to Horton. Horton tried to get loose, failed. A pass to Stewart. Stewart to Fulford, stopped by Bonin. Horton gets up with a pass to Olmsted, hit him on the back. And it's Fulford back for it. Fulford being watched. Passes over to Stewart. Ahead to Olmsted. Stewart takes a weak shot, and it's Johnson clearing it out. Stanley flicks the puck right back into the Montreal zone. Johnson, a pass stopped by Stewart. He took his shot. Plant flicking it back. Johnson cleared it, but not out. Stanley, a roll pass to Olmsted. Olmsted right in front of Stewart. He shoots. He's got wide. Olmsted gets his drive. Played it all around the front of the net. Olmsted another shot. And that was wide. Canadians clear it out. Jeffreyon going down alone. One man back. Jeffreyon waits. Passes it back to Talbot. And he shot it wide. Stanley tried to relay a pass from Horton. Fulford lets his shot go, and that's caught by Plant. 11 minutes and 50 seconds remaining in the third period as Maurice Richard goes over the line. He's knocked down. And Eamon gets it to Brewer. Brewer ran into Maurice Richard, knocked him down again. Kelly over the line with a pass to Mahavlich, and his shot hit Eamon. Moore, a pass for Maurice Richard. One man back. Maurice Richard takes his shot. Bauer caught it, and it's Kelly. A pass to Mahavlich. Mahavlich was stopped by Moore. It's Moore over the line. A pass for Maurice Richard, and Mahavlich gets it. Mahavlich going over the Montreal line, getting set. Takes his shot, and that hit Eamon again. Back comes Henri Richard over the line with Moore. Maurice Richard is going off the ice, and Brewer gets it. Brewer coming up to center ice. A long pass for Armstrong with Kelly. Armstrong waits. Chops the puck into the corner. Harvey shot it to the other corner. And Provo, a cleared pass to Henri Richard, who knocked it out to center ice. Bond, number 21, ahead to Kelly. Kelly knocked it over the line. Harvey takes over. His pass out to Henri Richard to Provo, who scoops the puck back into the Leaf zone. Montreal lead 4-0 with 10 minutes and 20 seconds remaining. It's Kelly up at center ice, up to the Canadian line and over. A pass for Mahavlich. Failed to reach him. Harvey is jammed in on the board. Marshall rolls it out to center. Bond ran into Goyette, but Marshall carries on as Bond broke his stick. Marshall took a shot, and Mahavlich shot it off to the side. It's Armstrong of the Leafs. Behind the net, coming out on the wing, too well covered by Goyette. Armstrong and Stanley try to get the puck out. Vaughn in the corner, coming out slowly. Shoots it out to center ice. Provo clears it right back. Regan is now on the ice with Duff and Armstrong. It's Stanley. A pass to Duff. Duff to Armstrong. Tried to relay it back. Too well covered, and Goyette to Provo. Provo comes down over the Leaf line, back to Goyette. A shot was wide. And it's Regan. Now coming up. Gets away from Bonath, and a pass over to Duff on the left wing. He shoots the puck into the Montreal zone. Talbot jammed it on the boards by, there's a shot from the point by Stanley. Horton couldn't get it, and Bellevaux and Bonath go down. One man back. It's Bellevaux going right in on goal. He shoots, and a great save by Bauer. Regan comes back. Three of them up. Over the line. Regan closes in, and it was offside.
Bauer isn't getting much protection in this last period. Of course, the Leafs have to take all the chances in an effort to even get close. And so far, their efforts have been in vain. And at the same time, Bauer's had to make some tremendous saves from close in on Henri Richard, Bellevaux, and Moore.
From the face-off, Barnes shoots the puck into the Montreal zone. It's Edmondson with Wilson and James. Johnson now leads the rush for Canadiens. Gets it ahead to Bellevaux. Over the line. A pass back. A relay to Bellevaux. Bellevaux into the corner. Pass it back to Geoffrion. Geoffrion is checked by Wilson, and Edmondson gets it to James. They're over the line. James to Wilson. He shoots. And a nice save by Plante. Puck goes to James. James gets it back to Bond. Bond takes a shot. Number 5 for James. And it comes back to the blue line of Brewer. Brewer took his shot. Plante made the save. James ran into Talbot. Puck goes loose. James and Bonath come together. Then Wilson is knocked over.
The Leafs must be wondering what they have to do to get that puck in the net. They had it whizzing all around Plante there, but Plante wouldn't give. And then the puck ended up in a wild scramble in the far corner there with James showing some of his Grey Cup ability there in the corner. Nearly a mix-up there as James went by the Canadian player Talbot, and they mixed it up a bit.
Ready for the face-off in the Montreal zone. Canadians get the draw, roll it out to center. Wilson back to Bond. Bond was checked. Henri Richard back to Harvey. Harvey to Maurice Richard. Too far. Brewer gets back for it to Edmondson. Edmondson gets out to center ice with Wilson and James. They're over the line. Edmondson cuts into the corner, passes back to Wilson. Wilson couldn't get his shot. Henri Richard was knocked down. Moore gets away from James. His pass stopped by James. James takes the puck away from Henri Richard. A pass to Wilson. Wilson gets over the line, shot the puck into the Canadian zone, and Langlois covers up. James is taken off. Maurice Richard to Henri Richard, who was jammed in on the board. Puck back for Moore. Moore and Maurice Richard offside. We have 6 minutes and 52 seconds remaining in regulation time. Maurice Richard, number 9, just skating off the ice. Face-off will be outside the Maple Leaf blue line. Fulford with Stewart and Olmsted. Horton and Stanley. Goyette, Provo, Marshall, Johnson, and Talbot. From the face-off, puck goes loose. Olmsted and Fulford fail to get away. Canadians clear the puck off the glass. It's relayed by Provo into the Leaf zone. Number 7, Horton. Horton getting away from Goyette. And Marshall is passed to Stewart, stopped by Goyette. Horton carries on. Horton goes up the ice to center, up over the line, takes his shot. Braun stopped it. Johnson covers up. Horton mixes it up with him, passed it out in front, and Talbot comes back for the Canadiens with Provo on his right. They're over the line, back to Marshall. Marshall shoots wide, and Olmsted gets the rebound. A pass out for Stewart, failed to collect. Olmsted fights for possession, steals it away at center, passes back to Horton. Horton takes a long shot wide, flying out of his net, tipping it off to the side. Olmsted to Pulford. Pulford and Johnson mix it up together. They go against the board, and play is called for a face-off in the Montreal zone. 5 minutes and 50 seconds remaining in regulation time. Montreal leading 4-0.
There's some hard checking going on out there, and there have been a number of close calls as far as trips are concerned, but referee Eddie Powers is more or less lenient to both teams as they fight it out here right to the end.
Puck is cleared out over the blue line. Vaughn tips it back in. Canadiens knock it out. Vaughn shot it back. Canadiens roll it back out to center ice, and it goes down to Brewer. Brewer trying to wind up. Trying to get away, failed. Now then Mahamalic is back for it. Back to Vaughn. Vaughn ahead to Eamon, to Kelly, back to Eamon, a shot. Vaughn stopped it. It's cleared around on the board. Kelly checked the Montreal player, but it gets it ahead to Goyette, over to Marshall, and he's content in shooting it into the Maple Leaf zone. Bonac comes out with Beliveau and Jeffrion. Mahamalic at center ice, goes over the Montreal line, cutting into the corner, passed it right in front of the net. It comes back to Vaughn. Vaughn takes his shot wide. Canadiens with Jeffrion coming up to center. A pass over to Bonin on the left wing with Beliveau and Jeffrion, and Kelly breaks it up. Kelly with Eamon and Mahamalic. They go down together over the line. Kelly back to Mahamalic. He shoots, and that was grabbed by Plante. It's cleared out to Bonin. Bonin gets away from a check. A pass to Beliveau, going in alone. Beliveau back to Jeffrion. He's right in. Beliveau shot one on the relay from Jeffrion, and he just missed the net. On the relay from Jeffrion, and he just missed the net. Beautiful play by...
There's another of those pattern plays. Almost perfect timing that time. Just failed to catch the corner as Bauer sprawled to save on that open side. This game shows more than ever that the Montreal Canadiens as a team are just about the best we've seen in years.
It's Armstrong on the right wing, clearing the puck down the ice. And it's Harvey going back for it. Harvey watched by Dubb. Harvey a pass over on the left wing to Beliveau again. Beliveau comes up over the Leaf line with Jeffrion. A pass at Jeffrion. He tried to go in, bounced it off the boards, and the Leafs get a three-man break. Stanley comes up with Armstrong and Regan back to Dubb. Dubb takes his shot, knocked down at the defense, and Jeffrion goes back number 5 to center. Up to the Leaf line, changes his mind. A pass to Bonin, who was stopped at the defense. Stanley off the boards to Duff to Regan. Regan gets over the line. Regan closes in, goes into the corner, goes behind the net, tips it into the corner the other side. Trying to get it back, and the Canadiens fail to get out. Horton poking it. To Bonin, who was stopped at the defense. Stanley off the boards to Duff to Regan. Regan gets over the line. Regan closes in, goes into the corner, goes behind the net, tips it into the corner the other side. Trying to get it back, and the Canadiens fail to get out. Horton poking it to Duff. Duff waits, trying to get a shot. Past Armstrong. Armstrong shot. takes another drive, and it's grabbed off by Plot. As Armstrong was standing with Plot lying down, and he couldn't flick it.
Plot certainly having a busy time, just as Bauer, of course, is on breakaway. But Plot is just fighting like a demon for this shutout. He had 2 against the Chicago Blackhawks. And this will be his first one if he can hang on here for 3 minutes and 15 seconds.
Vaughn took a shot. That was wide. Wilson took his shot. Vaughn stopped that. Johnson shot the puck down the ice. It's going over the red line. Vaughn touches it, and the Canadiens are called for icing.
One thing, even though the Leafs are trailing by 4 goals, they've never given up. They've just pressed and pressed and pressed, but they just can't break through. Plot is also getting tremendous protection by the defense.
It's Johnson clearing the puck off the boards to Henri Richard, who was up with Moore. Tried to go through. Henri Richard is knocked down. Brewer, a pass to James, over the line. James passed in front to Edmondson, and he's shot wide. It's rolled out and down the ice. Vaughn gets back. Number 21 skates behind the Leaf net. Head to James. To Wilson. Over the line. Tried to go through. Henri Richard comes back. James missed Henri Richard. Maurice Richard goes over the line, and it's offside. 2 minutes and 14 seconds remaining in regulation time. Montreal Canadiens leading 4-0.
And the Montreal Canadiens are within 2 minutes and 14 seconds of a record, their 5th Stanley Cup in a row.
From they face off, Brewer passed it out over the line. Marshall lost it to Edmondson. Edmondson to James. James over the line. Wade passed it back to Bond. Bond takes his shot. Edmondson tried to get the rebound. It's chopped high. And Marshall takes over. Marshall ahead to Hickey. Hickey was stopped momentarily. Carries on. Hickey took his shot. And that is wide. Then James, being watched by Backstrom, was out for the first time in the game. Puck goes out over the blue line to center. Marshall with 1 minute and 31 seconds. Back to Johnson, back to Backstrom. Backstrom handed it to Edmondson, and Edmondson turned. Pass back to Brewer. Brewer is dumped by Backstrom. Vaughn, a pass. Backstrom breaks it up. Ran into Bond. Brewer goes back. Passes it to Wilson. It's Marshall checked by Brewer and Stewart on the right wing. Coming up with Wilson, who took the pass. Wilson tried to go in. It rolls in front. It's cleared back, and Hickey turned around by Brewer. Marshall is checked. Brewer takes over. Brewer, a pass for Stewart. There's 41 seconds remaining in the regulation time, and the Canadiens are leading 4-0. Horton, a pass to Olmsted. Shot the puck into the Montreal zone. It's cleared around on the boards. Horton took his shot and hit Olmsted. And he was standing right in front of the net, so Olmsted blocked that shot with 26 seconds remaining in regulation time. Canadiens are 26 seconds away from the Stanley Cup.
That shot nearly caught Olmsted on the head. He was standing right in front of the Canadian goal, and the drive came from the side, and he actually blocked the shot in front of Plot by accident. Fortunately, he wasn't hit on the head.
From the face-off, the Canadiens bring the puck out. Stopped by Horton, who left it there. Olmsted shot the puck back into the Canadian zone with 16 seconds. 4-0 Montreal. Canadiens with Harvey bumped. Puck comes back to Horton. Horton took his shot. It goes to the opposite wing. Olmsted trying to center it. He sits down. There's 3 seconds left, and they hold it with 2 seconds remaining. 4-0. Canadians are all up at the bench. Lining up for the face-off. 2 seconds remaining. 4-0 in favor of Montreal. Stanley took a shot high off the glass. The bell goes. The game is over, and the Montreal Canadiens have won the Stanley Cup. 4-0. There you see Plante being mobbed by the jubilant Montreal Canadian players. Plante played a sensational game, but every one of his teammates was a star. The Leafs fought it out right to the end. They were overmatched in this game and possibly in the series. They gave it their best shot, but it wasn't good enough. Montreal Canadiens are the real world champions again, and this time they've set a record. For the 5th time, they are the champs. So you can't find anything more convincing than that. There's the best of spirit there as the teams, as you notice, line up and shake hands after a grueling series. The Canadians have also equaled the record of the Detroit Red Wings in the season 51-52 when Detroit took the Stanley Cup in 8 straight games. Now the Montreal Canadiens have duplicated that. The Stanley Cup is at center ice. President Clarence Campbell of the National Hockey League is going to the center of the ice there to present the Stanley Cup.
It is. Ladies and gentlemen, it is now my privilege and responsibility to present to the winning team, Montreal Canadiens, the Stanley Cup, emblematic of the World's Championship. This is the 12th time in which Canadians have won this trophy, the 5th time in succession. And I call upon their captain, Maurice Richard, to accept the trophy. Okay, Maurice.
Thank you very much, Mr. Campbell. Ladies and gentlemen, it's always nice to win the cup outside of Montreal, and the best place to win it is right here in Toronto, because the people are really nice. They give us a nice hand anytime we score, and they really give us a good hand all the way during the series. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Merci beaucoup, M. Campbell. Je remercie beaucoup tous les partisans ici du Toronto Maple Leafs de leur bon appui qu'ils nous ont donné durant la série. Il nous fait réellement plaisir de gagner la Coupe Stanley avec le coéquipier ici même à Toronto. Merci beaucoup encore une fois et bonsoir.
Now we go take you back to Ward Cornell.
Excuse me, Punch. Excuse me for interrupting here. come on over, and we've just got the coach in here, and Punch, how did you feel about it?
Well, I'm very disappointed, but I have to give a lot of praise to the Canadians. I thought that they played remarkably well in this series, and you can't give them enough. They certainly proved that they one of the great teams that's been in hockey.
Well, you never gave up on your boys at all, Punch. Do you think this team, the Leafs, are going to be strong next year or stronger?
Well, that's my hope. This is the team I've got to beat, and that's the objective of all your work, is to win the Stanley Cup. And if it has to be the Canadians, well, then it has to be the Canadians.
Good. And now from the officials of the club, sir, how did you feel about the whole series?
Well, I think our team did very well indeed, and as Punch has said, this is a great championship hockey team. We had a fine season. We came second, and we'll just have to try and come first next year.
Good. And now Frank Selke Jr. here. How did you feel?
Stafford.
I'm sorry, Stafford. I apologize.
Yeah, you should.
And how do you feel about it all?
Well, I feel very disappointed. The team did probably better than any of us had hoped for, but we always hope to win the championship. We'll be back trying harder than ever next year.
Good. Thank you very much, Stafford. And now, just coming in, we have René Lecavier, who is the French commentator, and he has the captain with the team with him, Rocket Richard. Congratulations, Rocket. Another great series. Go ahead,
Thank you
René.
very much, Ward. Eh bien, Maurice, nos félicitations. Un capitaine content. Est-ce que ça s'améliore d'année en année au point de vue satisfaction, joueur?
Je pourrais être satisfait et avoir de la joie. L'année, franchement, c'était un réel succès ce soir. Je ne pensais jamais que le club était pour jouer assez bien pour gagner 4 petites suites.
Et toi, tu ne savais même pas si tu pourrais jouer?
Franchement, ce soir, je ne pensais pas de jouer. J'ai décidé ça dans les minutes, car le pied était pas mal enflé. J'avais de la misère un peu à grouiller au commencement, mais en me réchauffant, ça a très bien été.
De toute façon, félicitations pour la petite passe à la fin de toute beauté à Henri, qui a bien su la capter.
Merci beaucoup.
Peut-être un mot aussi à nos amis de langue anglaise à travers le pays qui nous font plaisir d'être avec nous.
Certainly, Ernie, I'd like to say hello to all the good hockey fans in Canada. And surely it's really a big night for us, winning the Stanley Cup the 5th time right here in Toronto, because the people were really nice to us, and I think they give us a nice hand any time we score a goal. So thank you very much for the nice support you give us.
Merci infiniment, Maurice Richard. Maintenant, un instructeur très content. On n'apprécie jamais trop le travail d'un instructeur. Et cette année, je me rappelle fort bien que Tho avait dit, en pareille circonstance l'année dernière, il va falloir au moins 5 ans à celui qui va vouloir battre mon record.
Eh bien, René, c'était certainement une victoire de l'équipe ce soir, et pour tous les détails. Tous les joueurs qui ont endossé le chandail canadien, ils ont démontré l'habilité de jouer au plus fort, et c'était pas seulement les grands héros qui ont fait leur preuve, mais tous les joueurs qui ont endossé les uniformes. C'est certainement une grande victoire pour le club canadien.
Une victoire d'équipe et une équipe bien dirigée, encore une fois. So, Ward, you probably would like to say a few words
Yes,
to...
come on over, Tho. How did you feel about it? The team played magnificent. I don't know how they could play any better. How did you feel about this?
Well,
series?
they've been telling me and asking me whether I get tired when you're winning 5 times in a row. But I think tonight I feel happier that we won this for the 5th time than I did in the first time. It was certainly a team effort, and it showed that the young fellas that were on so-called 3rd line and 4th line, although I just call them just another line, and they come through in this playoff and against Chicago and against Toronto, and really played well. And while we're talking about those two clubs, I certainly would like to congratulate them. They never quit trying, and not taking anything away from our players, but I thought that we got all of the breaks.
Well, thank you very much, Tho, and I'm looking forward to next season. And now back to René with Jacques Plante.
Merci, Ward Cornell. Jacques Plante, un autre gars très content qui a travaillé fort, qui a chaud et qui a été blessé à la 2e période, mais vraiment, Jacques Plante, je sais que je me fais l'interprète de tout le monde en lui disant bravo 1000 fois. Et une fin de saison, une fin de partie de toute beauté.
Merci beaucoup, René. Réellement, je ne croyais jamais que nous gagnerions cette série-là. J'avais plus peur de Chicago lorsque nous avons commencé le détail. Et lorsque nous avons terminé avec eux, eh bien, je me demandais comment est-ce que la finale serait. Et réellement, je me suis rendu compte que c'était des joueurs qui étaient déterminés. Et nos joueurs ont dû jouer 110% pour réussir à l'emporter.
Je sais qu'on aurait bien aimé gagner, je fais l'interprète des joueurs du Canadien, devant ses propres partisans, n'est-ce pas? Mais ça fait toujours bon de gagner chez l'adversaire aussi.
Eh bien, nous jouons 70 parties durant la saison pour cette dernière joute-là. Alors, il faut la gagner à un endroit ou à l'autre et c'est aussi bien de finir ça le plus vite possible. Comme ça, la tension nerveuse est bien diminuée le plus vite.
Sûrement. Et le bras, ça fait moins mal quand on a gagné?
Quand on gagne, on oublie tout. Et surtout avec 5 mois de vacances, eh bien, ça va être numéro 1.
Et pour les joueurs du Canadien, Jacques Plante, en particulier, de très bonnes vacances, j'en suis sûr.
Merci beaucoup.
Bien mérité aussi. Alors, encore une fois, bravo. Et voici Ward Cornell avec ses invités.
Well, a couple of the vanquished with us now, the captain of the Leafs, George Armstrong, and another young man who played his heart out, Larry Regan, through the series. Well, George, how do you feel about it all?
Well, we don't feel too hot for it, seeing as we didn't win for ourselves and for the Maple Leaf fans. We certainly got a lot of letters from well-wishers throughout all over the country, and we're very sorry for them that we couldn't do any better than we did. However, I think that they should feel proud of all the players in their team. They gave as much as they had, and maybe it wasn't enough. Perhaps next year it'll be a little bit more.
Good, thank you, George. And Larry, was it a tough series physically? The checking seemed to be hard, was it?
Well, Ward, I think any series in the Stanley Cup final, when you lose them, they're all tough, especially under the circumstances. We seem to have to come from behind every night. We never did get a goal lead on them, I don't believe. And I think that, well, they're a great hockey club, and you can't give them 1 or 2 goals, never expect to beat them.
Good. Well, thank you very much, Larry Regan, George Armstrong. And now we switch back to René. René?
Thank you. Maintenant, chers amis, M. H.T.P. Molson, vice-président de la Canadian Arena Company et qui a assisté aux 2 dernières joutes à Toronto. Et je sais, il a quelques mots à vous dire. Il est très content.
Mesdames, Messieurs, c'est un grand plaisir d'être ici avec tout le club de hockey canadien, comme nous avons gagné ce temps-ci la Coupe pour la 5e fois. Et je félicite toute l'équipe et coach Toblake, spécialement M. Selke, pour tout ce qu'ils ont fait. Nous sommes très, très fiers.
Monsieur Selke, je veux dire une chose à votre endroit. L'équipe actuelle du Canadien a été formée entièrement par vous-même. I'm just saying that you're proud to win this 5th cup, I'm sure, but on top of everything else, you have organized this present team, and they're all boys coming out of your own organization.
Yes, Rennie, but it is in order to thank all the men across Canada who work for this organization in building up our players. I couldn't do it myself. Toke couldn't do it himself. There's Kenny Reardon, Sam Pollock, Frank Carlin, Del Wilson. It'd be like a litany for me to recite all of the names that deserve credit. But there's one man we have to mention tonight, and that is Senator Molson, who is not able to be with us, but who is our daddy, after all is said and done, who makes this team possible, along with his brother Tom. And I know you're watching, Senator. I'm telling you that the boys are happy that they were able to win this 5th cup for you. Now, Tom, I don't know how you feel about it, but it seems it's the right kind of combination. Ever since you people came into the picture, we have been successful in winning. And what is it? How do you account for it? I'm only a hockey fella. I wouldn't know.
I don't know, Frank. We're really leaving it up to you, and you're the one that's doing your stuff.
May I ask?
We're still learning.
I thought you were going to ask Mr. Selke, how do you feel about the future, sir?
No, we can't predict that.
No one knows what the future has in store for us. The other clubs are building, and it has been a much tougher league in the last 3 years. Harder to win.
Well, once again, congratulations to you gentlemen and to you, Mr. Selke. And now, Ward, again.
Well, we're very happy now to have with us, first of all, on my right, the great Jean Beliveau. And, John, it was a great series. You had a magnificent series yourself.
Yeah, it was a very good series, and I think all the boys in the team play very well. When you won 4 games in a row, everybody has to play well. And it's certainly nice to win that cup here in Toronto, and it's nice to win that cup everywhere, too.
John, just in terms of the other fans, other than Canadian fans, are you going to be any weaker next year or not?
We hope not. We hope that probably all the boys will be back, and we're certainly going to play the same way. We're going to try to play the same way.
Good. Thank you very much, Jean Beliveau. And now, King Clancy, and your feelings on the series?
Well, I don't feel too good, Ward, but I would like to congratulate the Montreal Canadiens, a wonderful hockey team. They played a wonderful series against us. And I would like to say for Punch Emlak on our hockey club, he did a wonderful job with our hockey club. We were beaten by a great team. We have no regrets. We'll try and make it again next year.
Good. Thank you very much, King Clancy. Thanks to all the guests who were down. And now for a summary of the game, here's Foster.
Well, there's very little we can add now to all that's been said. In closing, however, I'd like to invite a comment from Danny Gallivan and Frank Selke Jr., your Montreal broadcast crew, and then a word or so from Bill Hewitt. But first, how about a word from you, Danny Gallivan?
Well, Foster, it's been great to work in another Stanley Cup Final Series, and these two teams, the Montreal Canadiens and the Toronto Maple Leafs, offered once again to millions of hockey fans across Canada many, many pleasant nights. And before I wind up, I'd like to take this opportunity to thank some gentlemen who have worked with me during the year in Montreal. I have reference to Bill Armstrong, who is standing over there, and Frank Selke, who is standing right here.
Thank you very much, Danny. It's very kind of you to offer that little bit of thanks, because I know you mean it. And Foster, I think that the Montreal fans tonight have seen a wonderful climax to what has been a wonderful season for them. And as Montreal's crew, I think we're naturally pretty proud. But as Danny said, there are some people that have done an awful lot for us in helping us emulate the Hewitts in Toronto to the best of our ability. And I'm speaking of our TV crew in Toronto and our spotters and the statisticians, fellows like Art Kennedy and Al Trache. I know you have that type of fellow here that helps you with the broadcast, and certainly they mean an awful lot to us.
That's right, Frank, and I want to congratulate you and Danny on the great success of the Montreal Canadiens. It's getting to be a habit, isn't it?
Yes, it's true. I know it's not going to last forever, Foster, but let us enjoy it while we can.
Well, it's very good. Now, how about you, Bill Hewitt?
Well, Dad, certainly a great series. I really enjoyed watching the Montreal Canadiens and the Toronto Maple Leafs in this particular final. And I think the Montreal Canadiens prove without a shadow of a doubt they're the greatest team in hockey as it stands today. And the Maple Leafs and other teams in the National Hockey League will be doing their darndest next year to move up into the top with the Canadiens. And I think we'd like to thank the television crew here in Toronto, Mr. George Retzlaff, who's been handling the work here at the Gardens, and Ted Huff and all the rest of the gang.
Yes, it's been a great series. The Montreal Canadiens naturally are the top team. They've set so many records I could hardly keep up with them. But the fact that they equaled the Detroit Club's record of 8 straight for the Stanley Cup, and then, of course, winning 5 Stanley Cups in a row, proves that they are the top team in the NHL, bar none. I do think, though, that the Toronto Maple Leafs should get a great tribute for the way they fought it right out to the end. They gave everything they had. It just wasn't good enough. Now, that's all, then, for another hockey season. We hope to see you again next year, and I'm speaking on behalf of Danny and Frank and Bill and myself. And now here's your Imperial Esso dealer, Murray Westgate.
As we end another season, Imperial Esso dealers and agents all across Canada hope that in bringing the hockey telecasts, they have added to your viewing pleasure. We hope, too, that we may have the opportunity of adding to your driving pleasure, especially during the summer months ahead. We thank all the viewers who took the time to write us, and we appreciate your many helpful comments. Wherever you drive, remember that the familiar Esso oval means top quality products and service. So until next season, goodbye and happy motoring all summer long.